This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. Tensions around salmon farming in Macquarie Harbour reached boiling point today as the Tassal CEO was dragged from a press conference on the company's latest survey results. Tassal has not yet released the evidence that environmental conditions have improved, although it says it's a global leader in marine stewardship and transparency.
It was an abrupt ending to an organised press conference. Reporters asked the Tassal CEO to see the data from the company's latest study on Macquarie Harbour.
Mark, we have to stop you there because we've got the market release now.
Sorry, we just ask you about the data.
Sorry, Mark was here to do a statement. It was a statement only, so we've done the questions.
Well, that's a really obvious question, though.
The company had earlier released a statement saying the environment had improved in the area. But when asked if the evidence could be released...
There's a lot of data and obviously a lot of video footage and the like, and so in due course that will be released.
Why can't you release some of the evidence though today? You've called this press conference, you've called it with all...
We live in a modern age where people are able to look at data and able to form a view. That data should be publicly available, and at the very least a snapshot of it should be available. The health of Macquarie Harbour is in question.
Tassal also said it remains a leader in terms of marine stewardship and transparency, but Environment Tasmania vehemently disagrees.
The level of greenwash, the level of doublespeak, that we just can't see any evidence or facts, that press conferences are called and the media is given nothing to support any claims.
Well, that information, I understand, is being made available to the EPA, and they are the ultimate arbiter. They are statutorily independent. They have the expertise to make decisions and the right judgments.
Tassal's calling for a new watchdog to monitor all salmon farm leases and says the industry should pay for it.
We literally have the worst performer environmentally in the salmon industry in Tasmania calling for stronger laws while they flip the bird to the regulator. It's just become farcical.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A man remains in a critical condition at the North West Regional Hospital this evening following a crash involving two semi-trailers. The Bass Highway collision, just one of several on our roads. Tasmania Police stressing drivers must drive to conditions.
The mangled aftermath of two semi-trailers following a collision at around 8:30 this morning.
Truck, semi-trailer, travelling towards Smithton, lost control on a corner at Floudale, on the Bass Highway at Floudale, and collided with a laden potato truck which was travelling east on the highway.
Emergency crews working hard for several hours to free one trapped driver from the wreckage.
An extraction required for the trapped driver, the critical driver.
Both drivers were transported to the North West Regional Hospital, with one discharged only a short time ago. Tasmania Police still investigating the exact cause of the crash, but confirming today's wet weather was certainly a contributing factor.
I can't give an indication on speed at all at this stage. That will form part of our investigation. The weather at the time was atrocious, described to me as atrocious, and the road is described as very slippery.
At around 10:30 this morning, police were also called to a car crash on Albert Road, Moona. Two Subarus colliding after one failed to give way. Tasmania Police using today's incidents to remind drivers to always drive to conditions.
As we enter the cooler months, we're going to have wet roads. Those roads are going to be slippery. It's actually timely reminder to motorists to slow down in wet conditions.
Jessie Gilmore, Southern Cross News.
After 3 days stranded on Cradle Mountain, a Taiwanese woman is finally receiving treatment at the Royal Hobart Hospital. The 27-year-old had been missing for 2 days and was found cold and injured by emergency crews near Pelion Hut late yesterday. Bad weather grounded the Westpac rescue helicopter at the scene until shortly after midday.
There was a break in the weather today which allowed us to get in, but they were going to deteriorate this afternoon for the next couple of days, and we were expecting sub-zero temperatures and snow.
The woman is expected to make a full recovery. Tasmania Police reminds the public to carry emergency devices such as an EPIRB when hiking in wilderness areas. A Tasmanian soldier killed at Anzac Cove in 1915 has been commemorated with the unveiling of a new plaque. Private Arthur Adams, one of just 12 men remembered on the Soldiers' Memorial Avenue.
Private Arthur Adams, a Tasmanian soldier killed in action at Anzac Cove in 1915, is being commemorated. The private was part of the 12th Battalion and was just 22 years old. He was missing in action for a year, and it wasn't until 1916 that he was pronounced deceased by a court of inquiry.
In Arthur Adams' case, there was actually another soldier of the same name, so there was some confusion as to which one had died.
The delay a common occurrence prior to 1917.
There were many men that got separated from their units. Sometimes they returned, sometimes they were wounded, and they were taken off without their unit actually knowing they'd been wounded. Sometimes they were killed in the scrub and not found for many, many months.
To this day, there's little known about him as he had no surviving family.
He was a labourer, lived at North Hobart in Burnett Street and was part of the 12th Battalion who landed on Gallipoli, and apart from that we really don't know too much about him. It's a very sad story, unfortunately.
He is one of 12 Tasmanian men remembered on the Soldiers' Memorial Avenue.
We realised our dreams, we've married, we've had children and whatever. He never got that chance. He went off and did something he believed in to fight for his country. And he never realised his dreams, and it's very sad and very important that we remember his and many other thousands that paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Talia Higgins, Southern Cross News.
The debate over the Taz Water planned takeover continues to fume, with the opposition again accusing the government of perpetrating misleading information. Premier Will Hodgman says the state's ailing water and sewerage system is third world and now affecting Tasmanian tourism.
The state government out spruiking their planned Taz Water takeover, this time in the Derwent Valley.
Many townships within it that are suffering too often from things like boil water alerts, threats to public safety, a risk to our brand, and frankly totally inadequate services for consumers when it comes to the supply of fresh drinkable water.
Premier Will Hodgman says tourists to the area are impacted by the ailing water and sewerage system.
We make no apology at all for wanting to improve circumstances which are a third world in what is a first-class destination.
We need this done ASAP. We need to be able to provide a service not only to the tourists but the locals that have lived there, worked there and invested in the region for a long period of time.
But Labor still isn't convinced, saying the government's misleading Tasmanians. It also says under its plan, where Taz Water remains in charge, boiled water alerts would be addressed by the middle of next year.
What we've been saying is the government's saying that they can turn a 10-year plan into a 5-year plan and that they can take bills down by $550 per household, but they've got nothing to back this up.
Peter Gutman has gone about this in a completely ham-fisted way, trying to bully councils, not putting any details on the table about how you take over Taz Water and deliver the upgrades in half the time at less the cost. There's no detail here.
Meanwhile, the latest ComSec State of the State report shows Tasmania remains in 4th place overall, with the second lowest unemployment rate in Australia. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A fire caused by an electric heater has destroyed a Sandy Bay home overnight. Tasmania Fire Service arrived on the scene just after 11 to find the property well alight. A resident was home at the time but was evacuated uninjured thanks to a working smoke alarm. The fire has caused an estimated $450,000 damage. In Tasmanian drama, the Kettering Incident collected 2 Logies last night, including Most Outstanding Miniseries or Telemovie and Most Outstanding Actor, going to Henry Nixon. The production, written and produced by Launceston's Vicky Madden, along with Vincent Sheehan.
From overseas and wasn't sure that I'd stay here. He came and said, "Do you want to make a show in your home state?" Because I'm from Tasmania, so I'm quite a proud Tasmanian.
It is a great testament not only to our magnificent landscapes and scenery, but to the quality of Tasmanian professionals, actors, actresses, staff, support staff, and those who produce what is obviously very popular.
The series was filmed in Tasmania, employing more than 100 local cast and crew. Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Taz, your local super fund. The Australian share market has closed higher for a third day, thanks to gains from the heavy-weighted financial sector, plus energy and retail companies. The ASX 200 index has risen by 17.7 points. Short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 75.6 US cents and 107.46 New Zealand cents. Jason White is leading Targa Tasmania after a very wet opening round. The Dodge Viper driver has a 16-second buffer over Michael Pritchard. Reporter Tom Johnson filed this story a short time ago.
We're here at Targa Fest, where drivers are winding down and showing off their rides after round one. Early this morning, competitors left Launceston's Country Club bound for the East Coast. Stage 1 started from Cayena, but the first big test came at the Sideling, a windy uphill run towards Scottsdale. Drivers made their way through Wildborough and St Helens before finishing in Rossarden. Jason White has the lead. He's going for title number 6.
Well, we've got 270 cars here this year, which we had 382 start the 25th anniversary last year, which is the largest field ever assembled anywhere in the world.
The second leg leaves Launceston tomorrow, bound for Georgetown.
In the TSL, a blockbuster Anzac Day clash will pit the resurgent Tigers against competition giants Glenorchy. With talk of a potential upset brewing, the teams are holding cards close to their chest.
Dotted with the names of ex-servicemen, the Pies and the Tigers will don these special designs for tomorrow's clash. Anzac Day's significance conveyed to both sides, but with some important perspective.
At times there's a few things about probably mateship that comes to mind that you can sort of relate to, but other than that, there's you're not paying an ultimate sacrifice. You're going out, you're playing footy.
But I think us, by having this day and this game of footy, we get to show a bit of respect and get to wear some special jumpers with some names on it that means something to a lot of people.
In years gone by, Glenorchy might have chalked down this fixture as a walk in the park. But the Tigers are pushovers no more.
They're physical, they don't lay down, they're very proud of their football club, so we really enjoy the contest and looking forward to it tomorrow.
Long-time underdogs, the Tigers enter with 2 wins already notched up, including a nail-biter last week against Hobart City.
Our aim's to be competitive, whether it's win or lose, it's just to be competitive every week and show that we've grown versus the side of old.
The Tigers bring in 1 debutant, Glenorchy no change. Round 2's 25-goal win over Devonport took care of that. With a 17-day break since then, the Pies remain favourites. The contest expected to draw a big crowd to KG5.
When you stand there for the minute of silence and the national anthem, there's certainly a chill that gets sent through you, and obviously you sit there and think back of the importance of the day.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Another Anzac Day clash is scheduled in the MPL, this time with top spot on the line. Olympia Warriors going for 6 wins in a row in the clash against Hobart Zebras. Warriors coach Ian Shaw has one of the competition's most skilled attacks, but he predicts tomorrow's match will be the season's toughest.
It's the first derby game for me in Tassie. 60 years of history between the two clubs. I think it's going to be a fantastic hit-out.
Obviously, we've been very pointed up top too, different style of plays and that.
The Zebras have conceded just 3 goals so far this season. The Tasmanian Institute of Sport is entering a women's team in the National Road Series for the first time in 6 years. A young cycling champion is leading the cohort with a renewed outlook on life after losing her father to cancer.
A new look outfit set to shape the sport's future. After years in the wilderness, a women's side is back under the TIS banner because of these talented troops.
It's not just a flash in the pan, we're in it for the long haul.
It means young women once again have a clear path into the major titles. A huge help, according to triple junior world champion Macy Stewart.
This is the perfect stepping stone for me, coming back into the sport to be able to lead the team.
The 21-year-old from Devonport took time out after her father was diagnosed with cancer. Now, Stewart is refocusing on making the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games and Tokyo Olympics.
I'd had a pretty fast-tracked career at that point, so it was nice to have a year off and spend some time at home and be normal for once.
No hiatus for the men's team. Harrison Musgrave has been named captain after spending the past 2 years in the TIS saddle.
I love the challenge. I love having goals to work towards and being outside.
9 events make up this year's series, including the Mersey Valley Tour and the Tour of Tasmania. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Good evening. Well, typical autumn weather has settled in over the last couple of days. Temperatures still around average though. Hobart, Launceston and Burnie 19 today. Devonport a top of 18 degrees. 22 was the high at Flinders Island, while the highest rainfall total was 19 mils at Kimberley, 16 millimetres at Rubicon. Most of the showers over the north and northwest. Bridport and Friendly Beaches 20 degrees. Wynyard and Campania 19. Low Head and King Island 18. Strawn and St Helens 17 today. Bushy Park 16 degrees. Now the same cloud band over Tasmania is affecting Victoria and it's pushing back too over South and Western Australia. Thunderclouds built up today over the tropics to the north of the country. Closer in, low to middle level clouds streamed over Tasmania today. A bit more of that to come too. Tomorrow, an area of low pressure lies over our northeast, connected to a low pressure zone. That's extending through the eastern states. A cold front has moved over the bight. Northwest to southwest winds at 10 to 20 knots tomorrow, increasing to 20 to 30 knots over the north and northeast. Swells at 3 metres in western and southern waters. Strong wind warning for waters between Sandy Cape and St Helens Point. We do have a road weather alert too for reduced visibility and heavy rain for the northeast. Into tomorrow, morning rain for Hobart, a top of 18, rain developing for Adventure Bay, 18 the top, and rain for Tarraleah, 14 degrees. A soggy start to Anzac Day for most centres tomorrow. Rain easing from Launceston, 18 the top, 18 also for Devonport and Bridport. For Burnie, morning rain, 18 the top, 17 for Strawn with rain developing, morning rain for Marrawar and 17. And for St Helens, rain, 17 the top, 17 for Swansea, rain easing from Whitemark and 19 the maximum. On Wednesday, showers easing and clearing from the north in the afternoon. Possible light hail over the west and south and snow to 700 metres. Showers over the west and far south on Thursday. Fine elsewhere after a morning frost. And a shower over the west and far south on Friday. Another frost for susceptible areas. Mostly sunny in Perth and Brisbane tomorrow. A shower forecast for Adelaide. Bit heavier rain too for Melbourne, Canberra and Sydney tomorrow. And a shower or storm for Darwin. Currently the clouds are about. Hobart 15 degrees, Launceston 16 at the moment and Devonport currently 16 degrees. A big day on the Australian national calendar tomorrow, Joe. Let's hope there's some respite in that forecast so that we can have the dawn services and other remembrance activities tomorrow under clear skies. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? Thanks so much for that, Murph. Well, that's all from the news team for now. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you a bit later with updates, but for now, good